Qigong and Tai Chi, the big focus is energy. How can we get more energy? How can we refine energy? How can we move it? How can we ultimately have more energy and be happier? Because ultimately that's what it's about happiness, fulfillment, and internal change. That's a big part. So energy is information. That's the easiest way to think about it. It's information. What information are we getting here? So in Qigong and Tai Chi, we learn different exercises, different skills. So it might be dredging the channels. So the hands are coming down, the mind's following the hands inside the body, dredging energy that might be stagnant in the system, pouring it to the dantian or pouring it through into the ground. So we're getting good at getting rid of excessive energy that we don't need that's inside the body. Then we learn how to pull energy in the dantian, so we still the jing, make the energy come into the center here. It starts to build. After a while we can grab onto the chi, then we can start to circulate it, that sort of stuff. So there's a lot of things, specific skill sets developed. What's behind all that though is our psychology as well, and also at the same time it's not to do with our psychology either. So when we think about psychology, it's mainly to do with archetypes and patterns that we learn from childhood, and a lot of this is karmic as well. So why are we learning it? There's some karma there that we're learning. So it's all through learning through limitation, expanding limitations. So for example, in my fundamental Tai Chi course, Torus breathing is a big aspect to it. So the torus is how our energy system works. So energy going in through the top, through the body, out through the feet, out through the bottom chakras, into the earth, circulating back around every direction. Then also going the other way too. The energy circulates this way. When we land on a plane and we get onto a new place and it goes, geez, this place feels different, you're actually connecting to the torus field of that place. So the torus of that place and your own individual torus are connecting and getting information. When you connect with other people, you're connecting with their torus too. So Torus is very deep. So one skill within the Torus is letting go of energy you don't need to work on. So you talk to someone, you feel like they've sort of projected stuff on me. It feels kind of yucky. I don't feel balanced anymore. So there's ways you can get rid of that. The Torus field that process can get rid of that energy. A lot of people feel I have to just process that now, or they project it out and react to someone else. So that has to be processed by your body. The Torus field, you can just let it go. We don't have to process. The thing is, a lot of people don't want to do that. And there's a few things inside that. There's a person that doesn't want to change. That's the first thing. People don't want to change. That's a very common thing. A lot of people don't believe that such a skill could be developed. It's a Qigong skill. Hardly anyone knows Qigong skills. So why would they think it even exists? Qigong is fundamental skills that you're learning to build energy and use energy and understand energy. So that's a Qigong skill. Get rid of excessive energy you don't need to process, negative energy, process it out of the aura before it even has to get into your body. If it's in your body, how to get rid of it there. Second part in the Torus breathing is pulling energy back in that you've given out excessively. So it's very common. You want to help someone, and it's like we're helping them through words, but we're helping them through holding space. We take on things, like we're trying to absorb things, especially if you're a natural empathic person. You just absorb things, thinking that'll make things better. It can make things better for them because you've just pulled all the stuff that they can't own, they can't process. You pulled it into your own body. Now who has to process it? It's you. It can make you sick. That can get stuck onto your family members and all sorts of stuff. This is a reality most people aren't aware of. In energy work, this is hugely important. So any energy you've given out excessively, thinking it would help someone, in the Torus work, you can call that energy back. I'll call back any energy that I excessively gave out, and I allow my system to fill with no sense of guilt. Because where the no sense of guilt comes from is that it's our personal responsibility and our duty to learn how to run energy and move energy. It's just like in our culture, that's not a thing, not even talked about. But burnout is one of the biggest issues in our society, especially in work, in therapists, in relationships, compassion fatigue. It's one of the biggest issues, burnout. So if you're constantly taking on energy from others to try to help them and it's burning you out, that's an issue. There's a Qigong skill that can stop that happening and gain really keen awareness of what that's about. And the second part is if you're someone who just keeps overgiving, the overgiving shit collector or the overgiver, that's a huge archetype in a lot of people. It's connected to the people pleaser as well. So that archetype runs, and it's good at giving energy. And it's people who are really good at giving energy, usually have a lot of energy to give. They're good at doing that. And it seems to help. If it's burning you out though, And how balanced is that? It's not very balanced. So we're learning to pull that energy back until a certain point I realise I don't need to use the over-giving shit collector archetype all the time. I can use the empowered man, the empowered woman. So there's different archetypes that can be built so that dynamic doesn't get set up. So we're not constantly have to pull energy back, not constantly have to dredge energy out of the system. It's just we're now transformed. There's a different thing happening. Our energy runs differently and people react to you differently. And what essentially you are, you're more empowered of who you actually are inside. So the spiritual aspect, the heart aspect, the body aspect, energetic aspect, they're all transformed. And the biggest thing I find is when I teach this stuff, people don't want to hear it. They don't believe it. And why would they if they have no skill? But the idea is I'm showing you on a silver platter how to do it. Just practice, practice. I'm not lying here. I treat people nearly every day, some really heavy stuff. People will tell me some real heavy stuff because in the end, pains and fatigues that people have, it's usually an emotional blockage. So I help people unwind that. So I'm not worried about taking in suicidal energy. I'm not worried about taking in depression, taking in anger. I'm not worried about taking in because I can not let it happen for one, and two, if it does get in, I can process it and understand what that was about. So what I give to people through the Torus breathing is there something that can improve awareness in an area that most people have literally no understanding of. I hope this makes sense.